Good lord, yeah. 9.5 hours of painting glitter or putting up stuff to enable you to paint glitter? Still, that's a lot of glitteriness. Yeah, that sounds like not fun. The rain part. Oh, come on, it's always a pleasure. And I do mean that. My ladies inform me you come inquiring after a bottle of Suge Vianja, but I told them they must be mistaken. Not even you would be foolish enough to think you could... No, you are serious. Archon, you do realize one could purchase an entire estate in mist for the price of a single bottle. Or 5 estates for the price of 5 bottles, which happens to be the number of bottles of Suge Vianja I have in my collection. Give me one of them. No, I am not an unreasonable man. None say the venerable Gagaruju does not value a friendship as deep as the one you and I have forged. So in my boundless generosity, I offer the opportunity of her trade. A bottle of vintage Suge Vianja for a mere magnum of fine Damascus. Ever heard of the stuff? And I thought I was talking to a fellow connoisseur. I pity the poor vintner back in Wineport who shall have to educate you. Until then, the offer stands. Well, at least it started to let up by the time... an hour into your face painting time. Hopefully you had a tent at least, so it didn't, like, absolutely destroy your ability to do anything. I can't imagine a lot of people really wanted to get their face painted while it was raining. Yeah, those tents aren't cheap. Shimani! First Sud Vianja, now Damascus wine? Might I interest you in an aged Lamintson red instead? No, I thought not. Well, then you have your cut out for you. There was a time Damascus wine was fairly easy to procure, even here in Vilbrund. But that was before the Empire raised the better part of the kingdom, vineyards and all. If there are any surviving bottles, it would be those that were exported before the Imperial invasion, over 30 summers past. Though I've not encountered any in a decade or more, either at auction or in private hands. Collectors are covetous creatures. If one were to have somehow acquired a bottle, there's little chance he would willingly part with such a treasure, which leaves only those brought over by the few Damascus refugees who fled to Eorzea. Which would put... I swear Balthier was at least in his 30s. Dressed. 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 Give me your booze or I'll bring back the mid-slice. Can't sleep. Won't let me... The midges won't let me... They fuss and they scream. It's okay. It's okay, Dressed. I can spell. Honest. Give me your booze and I'll make the midges go away. You. I know you. You were here before. You sent away the bitches. They came back, though. They always come back. They mock me. Tell me I can never go home. I just want to go home. Can't stand it here anymore. Wine. My wife loved wine. We would drink a glass of Valen's every night before sunset. She would always keep the cork. I always thought that odd. What good is a cork? Toss in the midden heap along with the bottle, I'd say, but she... So you find several empty bottle bottles amongst the rubbish. One in particular calls out to you. Take it to Shomani Lomani to confirm its origin. Dressed, I stole a bottle from your trash. I hope you don't mind. Wasn't the FF16 protagonist still like a teenager in the opening, but then there's a time skip? Shomani. Shomani. I was dressed. I do hope your visit didn't disquiet the poor soul. Brought me an empty bottle. But what is this? The cork remains in place. That is most fortunate. If an adequate seal was made, there might still be traces of the wine within. May I? Buoyant yet elegant. Thought-provoking blend of kukuri beans and cinnamon with just a hint of... Is that rosemary? A veritable kaleidoscope of both opulence and refinement. Long has it been since I last encountered a bouquet of such complexity. Yet I recall it as if it was yesterday. Without question, this bottle once held the Damascan Leamonde read by the name of Valens. To think I would have the opportunity to experience again after so many summers. But I'd suggest Master Gagaruja will not be as satisfied with a sniff as I. Now, one without scruples might see the empty bottle as the basis for a ruse. One man's ruse is another man's kaikaku. Where did you come from? Over the years I have had numerous dealings with the Lord of Castelloso, and while he is many things, an expert on wines is not one of them. Not that it would matter if he were. Men of his standing invariably find more joy in boasting of their acquisitions than in consuming them. In all likelihood, Master Gagaruja will never even open the bottle, rendering the provenance of its contents practically irrelevant. Ah, but where are my manners? These forays back to western climes always bring out the barbarian in me. It is a pleasure, Archon. Lest you wonder at my presence here, my employers see promise in the Hingan wine trade, and desire the establishment of a viable route twixt east and west. I'm good to see their plan to fruition, and convince me to con Gagarujo. Okay. But returning to your dilemma, I believe that I may be of assistance. I just so happen to have on my person several bottles of Hingan wine made with grapes similar to those once found in Nomasca. For a close acquaintance, I would be more than willing to part with one that he might fill his empty vessel. That would be unjust. As a maker of wine, I cannot allow it. Master Gagaruj goes in more of his clients than he can count. How do you think the man amassed his fortune? By playing fair? Would that the world were thus. But I am here to tell you it is not. So, it is decided then. We shall employ deceit as our morally justified means to a happy end. Wait, this is a fool's errand. Give me the bottle. Doop, 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 doop. Do 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 do. Here, have a fake. Then let us be glad our quarry is a fool himself. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must go and tell the gentle citizens of Wineport why they should be drinking Hengen. Good day. Shows up, pours his wine into a bottle to make a fake, leaves, says nothing further. With that, Hancock? Whatever, it's going to Gegaruju, we'll con him. Do 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 do. Gegaruju, I totally have that wine you asked for. Gods, you actually found one? A bottle of Damascus wine? Oh, we must uncork it right away. Hancock, there's a flaw in your plan. Lush bouquet of herbaceous dignification coupled with earthen undertones and so forth. Short, the very epitome of a Damascus red. Yes, you have outdone yourself this time, Archon. Yeah, give me what I came for and let me leave before someone tells you you're an idiot. And a promise is a promise. Ladies, the bottle of Soude Viange, if you please. Oh look, it has a rose on the bottle. And there's Kate Catchy. Take whichever you fancy. Except for the one with the rose. That is my favorite. Or whichever you fancy. I came here for the one with the rose. Nope. Back to Kugane. Hey, random dude, I brought you that bottle of super expensive wine and I only conned one person in the process. They say a rose is a rose is a rose, so tell me, adventure, is that a rose in your pocket? Or are you simply here for small talk? What? Bottle of vintage Sujianja. You never cease to amaze. But what is most amazing is your impeccable sense of timing. Today marks the 12th anniversary of the day I met my dear wife. And for one thing she loved more than wine, it was roses. She were here today to... but my wife is very much alive. In fact, she's been here with us all along. Darling, would you care to join us? For me? How thoughtful. But did you forget the most important gift of all? Of course not. Hello. Bacon bread, the perfect companion to a perfect wine for my perfect companion. Oh, darling, I think this might be our best anniversary yet. Bacon bread. That played out better than I expected. I suppose I have you to thank, adventure, though it was the bacon bread that sealed the deal. Sujianja was truly an amazing wine. I admit, before leaving Golemald, I was worried the Outland vintages would not agree with me. Not only was the rosé one of the best I've had during my time here, it was one of the best I've had, well, ever. Simply had to have more, so I went and purchased an entire crate of the stuff. How rich are you? And I gave him quite a deal, I might add, which was not easy, seeing as there is great demand for bottles of Sudvianja throughout the three great continents. I shall reserve my judgment on the verity of Hancock's deal, but even were the price double, it would have been more than worth it. Oh, right, they're fakes, got it. Fortunately, I recently sold an entire collection of my works to a little playhouse on the Kogane Dori. The Miqo'te, I believe they called themselves. These hanging words leave my tongue in knots. And scored myself a tidy profit. Huh? Price of a single bottle more than a house in mist, you say? More than a birdhouse, I suppose. Oh, you're serious. Well, then I can inform you that is most definitely not the case. Even during shortages, I've never had to ask more than, say, 20 or 30,000 gil a bottle. 40 if the buyer was wearing silks. So Master Gregor prided you with this misinformation, did he? Well, then it's a good thing we conned him back. Oh, the conniving devil. Well played, you lecherous Lullafell. I mean, that is terrible. What a terrible thing for him to do. Wait, was that Dalmascan wine we procured for Master Guruju some moons ago in exchange for one of his bottles of Sudvianja? Do I, want to know about this, Hancock? Probably not, but I shall enlighten you anyway. It sounds like you and Hancock make quite the cunning devils, Archon. Still, I do feel somewhat responsible for this whole mess. As an apology, might I offer you a bottle of vintage Sudvianja? No, of course not. Then what do you say to a bottle of Damascus? You'd exchange it with the bottle you gave to this Master Geguruju and absolve yourself of all wrongdoing and whatnot. Ah, now you're probably wondering where one might find a bottle of genuine Dalmascan Red, considering the hells you had to negotiate simply to find an empty bottle. Well, that, my distrustful friend, is where Hancock comes in. You don't vote for kings! I do? Oh, yes, I do. And I just so happen to have a bottle of Dalmascan White on my person this very moment. 3, in fact. You can't just go around having... What's the bloody line? And why do I carry bottles of the rarest wine in Othard on my person, you ask? I, am not at liberty to say. You must know, I acquired them from one of my acquaintances in Robin Oster. All right, I purchased them from Lady Fran. Come see the violence inherent in the system! Is this all what I think it is? Enough Damask in red to keep a Bonga happy for a long, long time. Amongst the royal chevaliers there was a Vieira like Lady Fran. When word came the Garleans were approaching, she ordered the entirety of the royal palace's cellars delivered here, where they'd be safe from the Empire. Seeing as the situation with the palace is what it is, I don't believe anyone would mind Lente's tears using the wine to, say, fill the Resistance's coffers. So what is your offer? If this many bottles were to make it to market, the price would fall like a furble from an oak. I would be ruined. And here I thought, they said you were a shrewd one. Now if I to acquire this much wine, I reckon I would only release a few bottles at a time to ensure, what would you call it, maximum profits? Enoch, there's no need to be rude to our guest. You're a shrimp. Told me before the East Aldenard Trading Company could not provide the Damascus resistance with aid, as it would not be good for business. So I offer you something that will. Do you accept? Not that it transpired anything like that, mind you. So, would you care to purchase a bottle? I just. Now take a bottle and consider it my and consider it the last you'll get from me. Take 2 bottles? All 3? I am a master negotiator. Enough, Archon. Poor Hancock looks as if he's lost his mistress to a morble. You're missing an arm! 3 bottles is more than fair to see your wounded honor restored.